so that I am talking to the people on here as well. You had questions about the group project, you said?
Correct.
Fire away.
So sort of starting it out as a worship service, to get topic and theme centered around maybe a particular passage of scripture. But what you're looking for from there, Sunday school program that goes along with that same topic, and service opportunities and personal piety exercises that all centralize.
Talk to me about what I mean there. What do you think I mean?
With, community service, I would say there's probably, you could go with an internal or an external aspect of that, where you're sort of doing something internally that can benefit externally, either through your people or through something that you do, and then,
What internal or external ministries you have that could take hold of it?
right, and then
Learn the lesson.
thematically integrate those things as well. And then personal piety exercises, you could do that through programming, you could do that through any more informal correspondence that you have with your people, a prayer list, recommendations for prayer points. I even thought, not that a whole lot of people might take you up on this, but a book list where there's more reading or articles that expand on that topic.
Or in the modern vernacular, a video list.
Yeah, that could work too.
So I had you guys watch Tim Keller's video, and everyone likes that, I think. He does a great job, that's why I recommend it. But would you have read Tim Keller's writing on the topic?
Probably not.
Probably not, especially with as much reading as I'm asking you to do for this course. But a video, that might be something too. You find resources. How do they fit in? I don't want to limit you, because that stifles your creativity. Plus, group project, you might come at it from a completely different perspective that I miss. You are empowered for this. Because I keep talking about humility. I take humility very seriously. I don't think that I know everything there is to know about this topic. So therefore, I'm going to assign the general. You give me the specific. Tell me what this would look like in a church setting so that you are thematically including issues that become meaningful to the life of the congregation as they are trying to walk with Christ. What that means, I want you to take on. But I want you to think, where do we fall short in our teaching ministries? Because we are not integrating things well. If your sermon is on a completely different topic than your Sunday school was, and your mission work over here seems to have nothing in relation whatsoever, then are we helping people along the journey by taking coherent steps together as a congregation, or are we expecting everyone to sing their own song? You have gone to churches, I know you have gone to churches where the choir is not singing the same thing at all. They hold books that look alike, but those are definitely not singing the same song. I want you to think about it in that analogy. How do we get everyone to sing, I won't say hymnal because it's an ARP school.
Sing on the same sheet of paper.
The same sheet of paper, singing that same psalm, right? How do we get that? So that this is radically different from what most churches do. But that's why this is an exercise. And you might never use it. But forcing yourself to think through, you might see something that I couldn't even imagine. That's what exercises like this are about. To empower you to think in a new way. And it might be something 5 years from now, you're in a church and you realize that you have an opportunity because the youth and the 20-somethings and the 40-somethings and the elders, they're so disjointed. And they're getting totally different messages from your sermon and from the youth sermon and from the ministries for the 20s and 30s and all the rest of it. But you need them to be able to come together as one household of the children of God. That's why I'm forcing this issue with this group project. because we don't tend to think about it that way. But if we can think about it that way for a church, for a Sunday, or for a season, what is that going to do for other Christian ministries and education that you're going to do, in whatever context that might be? Does that help? All right.
So the finished product is, I mean, obviously like Joe was talking about with like a bulletin. What would the finished project?
I want you to think about a spectrum of potential finished products.
Okay.
In my mind, when I created this assignment, and I've never seen an assignment like this, okay? I came up with this to try and integrate as I'm reading on the best practices of educational theory and taking it a step a little bit beyond into theological education that I think theological education is missing. The way I envisioned it was that this should be like a starter pack that each one of you could use. So you have a church bulletin that has an outline of what the lessons are going to be, what the readings are going to be, what the sermon topic is going to be. You might have announcements about the ministries, but you should also have, what are the educational materials for the children? What are you going to have so that the missionary work of the church, the ministries of the church, are integrated into this as well? Whatever that looks like. And that's why it's a group project, because cross-fertilization of ideas is one of the most special gifts that we can give you. Each one of you have such wonderful ways of viewing the world. When you start sharing that, that's where strength comes in. And you'll find each one of you contribute something wonderfully different because you are from different perspectives. You're from effectively 4 different denominations in this room right now. How many denominations are going to watch this video? Literally, God only knows. Not figuratively, literally. So therefore, how many different groups are going to come together? Will it be a bulletin and a Sunday school coloring book and a homeless shelter or soup kitchen menu that you get to discuss with people? Will it be a Habitat for Humanity build that you're going to, put mezuzah on their doors as a part of? I have no idea. Thinking on my feet for new things now. That's for you to really come together. How do you integrate it farther even than I've asked? But it's what the Spirit is calling you towards, because this is what real life. Would it be something that you might see as a military chaplain that you have to integrate not just the sermon, not just the service, but as a part of their prayer lives in theater?
Mm-hmm.
What would that look like? Again, I am not from that perspective, but you have some perspective on that. And you as a group, you all have different experiences. Challenge each other. That's the purpose of a group project. What it looks like is going to be what it looks like. But have it something that you are really happy because you have thought beyond what you thought you could.
Okay.
If it looks like a formal paper, it looks like a formal paper. If it looks like a bunch of bulletins and coloring books and whatever, then it looks like that. If it looks like something completely different, good. That's the hard part of making an assignment like this, is that you give enough structure that you can do something, but not do exactly what I am telling you to do. Liberative aspect of education. And I know that's harder in a lot of ways, but it's also 100 times more rewarding than doing a simple paper on this.
Right. That's what the track I'm thinking right now is formal paper.
No.
So
I don't want a formal paper.
How do you get out of that? Okay.
Yep.
I would think kind of a bulletin, and by the way, here's the details of it. This is what everybody gets to
then that can be a part of it. Start with that as a part of it,
Okay.
okay?
Tony Saturday?
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
sorry.
there-